Hey, Londo G back. I it's and actually happy belated Thanksgiving to you gentlemen out there, and I'm still a part of this whatever movement this is, whatever way of life this is called bringing things to light and the hypocrisy of things. Um, I didn't really want to put this as the thumbnail of the title of the video, but obviously I am. My thoughts. Recently, shout out to Phantom Clutch. I want to make an apology to Phantom Clutch. I haven't been around. I know you guys need a little bit of the extra faith in other brothers to bring out the hypocrisy of things. And I'm not trying to be elaborate with this, but I'm just trying to show in this thumbnail how ridiculous Hollywood has become and the hypocrisy of this outing with a remake that did not. Actually, the remake with Denzel Washington was fine up until this point. Now what they're doing with it is Queen Latifah as their main star of this reboot, this reboot of what they think the Equalizer should be now. It's ridiculous. I feel like it's a slap in the face to fellow men of color who are more precedented for this role than this way that they're going with it. It's almost like they're disrespecting Denzel Washington to a certain degree. Of course, you know, Denzel's not going to go against the grain because if he does, he's going to receive a backlash. Notice how Denzel Washington has not objected to how they're going forward with this Equalizer. Now, just last night on HBO or Showtime or Cinemax, I saw that they are going to be premiering his version, the last second film with him and Antoine Fuqua, the Equalizer 2019 Part 2, with the kid that played in that emasculating film called Moonlight. The guy who played Miles, who plays Miles in this one, I forget the actor, the young brother's name. He plays Miles, the kid in the second one. Basically, develops a relationship with Denzel's Robert McCall. The Robert McCall, the original, is supposed to be a male lead character for the Equalizer series. Originally, it was played by an older Caucasian actor back in the days. I forget his name again. And based off that, they just, you know, how like nostalgic people are for wanting things from the 80s and 90s. And it's understandable. We want to have that nostalgia feel because that's when things made sense. That's when TV shows, characters, a lot of stuff made more sense than it does now. And I understand you got to update with the times, update with what's going currently on. Understandable, but when you're doing an injustice to a character that's already been established at a certain gender, you should not change that just to appease the said woke audience. You know what I'm saying? So, with this outing of Equalizer as a reboot for a television series, and of course Queen Latifah probably. You know, she's supposed to be a music producer, a talent scout. Now she wanted to be an actress. I never really felt her acting except for when she played Cleo and Set It Off back in 1996. If all you guys know, that was the movie that starred her, Kimberly Elise, Jada Pinkett Smith. Need I say more? Also, Vivica A. Fox. They were some down on their luck women of color coming up in the hood of Compton, South Central Los Angeles. Goes, I guess, one of her, they got this notion because one of the young ladies, I guess, brothers got shot or something. So then they wanted to go against the grain, to go against the system that was treating them awful. I can try to deconstruct that one very much and how phony that movie was because in any sense that was not reality in that sense, but I won't go there. Okay? Because, like I said, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on within the people of color community, whatever you want to call it, and how they're propping up a lot of so-called themes of color these days to put Afro-American men of color down. Like, we're too masculine, we're too this, but then you rather want to see a theme of color very masculine because you're comfortable with that, but not comfortable with an Afro-American male continuing true masculinity that should be represented more often in film and in television, which keeps getting downplayed. I mean, what happened to the days of Wesley Snipes? I mean, in the 90s, Wesley Snipes had it on lock, and you got to respect him because he was getting plenty of roles where he was becoming a fan favorite amongst various, various legions of fans who are even outside a person of color or a person within the color, but was not the same race of color. But there was a president time where Afro-American men were at a status to where they were getting their just due in the early to mid to late 90s, and there was no fuss about it. Now, in this culture, it's considered toxic. Need I say more? But Queen Latifah, as far as her acting, it's been very subpar. It's been okay to a certain degree. Now with her in this role playing Nancy McCall, I think, they want to run off the same last name as Robert McCall in the original Robert McCall from the original series of The Equalizer and its predecessor, Denzel Washington, Robert McCall from the films. Now now they're associating that this is a totally like it's like not even connected with Denzel's character. Okay, they could have connected like, oh, she's Denzel's niece. Okay, and she has the same abilities because he taught her or something. They could have respected Denzel and gave Denzel a call up and said, hey, can you show up as Queen Latifah, Nancy McCall, Robert McCall's niece, and, show a little bit of respect like that. Then that would have been a little bit more, to me, I would have been a little more intrigued with that. Oh, this is Robert McCall's, niece or his second cousin, and she has the same abilities as he does because he taught her, military style of fighting and training. But no, they just want to just tell you off the bat, she's a full badass, she's a female, she's getting it in, and this even looks even more bad for women of color because what do they already think? Brute, overbearing. Need I say more? I don't want to go too far, but you know what I'm saying, okay? And Queen Latifah has a lot of that personification already as it is. And why is a 5'11", 6', 250-pound woman of color beating up just random men at will? Because, okay, I can understand the concept of her being skilled. She's a government-trained former CIA, just like the original Robert McCall and its predecessor, secondary Robert McCall, with Denzel Washington, which they should have stayed with. But if they could have put this as Robert McCall's, second cousin, younger cousin, part of the family, she knows what he knows. She's been in the, she was in the service, the CIA, after he left or he's retired or he's, basically given the reins to her. It'd still be kind of like, I don't understand this and I'm not really feeling this, but at the same time, give it some bearing, give it a reason why, maybe because Denzel Washington is getting a little bit more up in age, but hey, Sylvester Stallone is out here doing another Expendables, Now, supposedly this characterization, female version of Queen Latifah's Nancy McCall or Harriet McCall, whatever she is in this, as the titular character of the Equalizer, she is basically former ops special, agent, was in the service. She has a daughter. Wink, wink. Need I say more? Of course, she could do it all bad by herself because she's a woke, 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 woke agenda type series. So it's very sad to see the McCall character in this formation. I'm not a fan of it. I'm outing it as a big slap and a disrespect to to Afro men of color who are really they're really putting men of color to the back seat, saying that our 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 you know our nature is toxic. Our action nature is toxic, so we have to put a phenom lead in the character to make it more watchable, more likable. Give said woke audience a sense of, oh, I could be like her, type of thing. And knowing it's a whole bunch of BS. It's not true. Because at the end of the day, it's fantasy. It's not real. Why are you trying to make this more than what it is? This is not a superhero. In the eyes of a little girl, maybe. And this is another empowerment play move in the woke, said phenom, Wohman Hollywood, escure, continuing to slap men in the face continuously with this trope. And it needs to stop because it's getting out of hand. And is this going to be a continuing thing? You have to wonder. And already, Wesley Snipes has been put out as he is toxic as well now. I recently did that about him in the J-Lo situation. So you got to understand where we're at with this. They're marginalizing, and there's a lot of, as shout out to Phantom Clutch, a lot of misandry, a lot of black male misandry going on in the industry. It's gotten to this point, and they're just sticking it to us, letting us know that we're not going to be able to see ourselves in these characters, and they don't want us to. They want it to be a continued woke. And it's not even about color. It's about this woke theme with the phenom, escure being just churned out. Letting it be known that phenoms are tough. Don't need nobody. They're a one individual army. They can beat the odds, and that's not true. And I'm going to tell you a real life phenom that actually got a wake-up call, and I'm going to do more research on it, but she had a very sad ending. You remember Domino Harvey? Remember they did a movie on her? She was Billy Bad ASS, but guess what happened to her? Very sad ending with her. As she was a female bounty hunter, and her life came to an abrupt ending because Hollywood wants to portray the phenom as she's stronger than what she thinks she is, and she can break barriers and be the hero. No longer classic female tropes like Wonder Woman, who was classic. Why do men like Wonder Woman? She's still, as she can be, and at the same damn time, she still kicks butt, but respects the other men that she works with around her. But this is a continued slap in the face in Hollywood to men, especially men of color, who understand the optics of what's going on. But if you want to eat this series up, you want to watch it, fine. I don't. I have no intentions to. I think it's a whole load of crock from the beginning. I saw the commercials. Now they're saying it's the number one watched television show, well, we already know what the demographic is. We already know what the demographic who watches it. Come on. It's hard. It's plain to see. And the gender demographic who watches it. Okay? So, that's all I got to say about that. It's Rolando G. Time to really beat down woke agendas at this point. It's getting tired. I'm getting tired. I know you're getting tired. And we just got to stand strong because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. All right, it's Rolando G. Keeping it real as always within the divestment community of SYSPM. I'm out.